let's look at the most common mistake from the 2024 exam paper and how the Chief Examiner marked it differently. So this is question 2C part 3, where you're drawing the structure of an organic compound. Draw the molecular structure of the co-product, which was glycerol, showing all atoms and all bonds. Now that was the first thing that students missed. Every atom and every bond in the structure must be shown. Glycerol has 3 carbon atoms and 3 alcohol groups, 1 on each carbon. Now remember, carbon must have 4 bonds. There we go. That is the fully correct structure for glycerol for 3 marks. Now, common mistakes. The first one that we saw was students not showing the oxygen-hydrogen bond and just writing it as an OH group like that. Now, this was a typical mistake and the Chief Examiner penalised you for 1 mark here. So you would see 3 minus 1 written on your paper. Another common mistake is not showing the bond between carbon and hydrogen, but the atom is still shown. Now I'm going to get rid of this error. Now again, the Chief Examiner penalised you for 1 mark, so you would see 3 minus 1 to give you 2 out of 3 marks in total. The next one is if you had 2 errors, where again, you didn't show the OH, the bond between the oxygen and the hydrogen, and you didn't show the bond between the carbon and the hydrogen. That's counted as 2 separate mistakes. So you would see 3 minus 1, minus 1 on your exam paper. This student gets 1 out of 3 marks. Now, the most serious mistakes are, now this one, you will get marks for it, but I really don't like it. And to me, it is completely wrong. So just be careful of it. I've hammered this into students over the past few years because I knew this was coming. Now here, if you show the bond, so the bond is drawn, but the atom at the end of the bond is not. To me, that is an incorrect structure because you're telling me that there's actually a CH3 at the end of that bond and there isn't in glycerol. An empty bond like that does not mean hydrogen. The Chief Examiner, though, let you away with it because the bond was shown and they took 1 mark off you if you drew that. Now, a mistake that cost you all of your marks is this. So that is the correct structure. However, if you did this, where on one of the carbon atoms, 1 bond and 1 of the atoms is missing, then you actually lose all of the marks for this question. So this student would get 0 marks because you're not showing the 4 bonds to carbon here and the atom is also missing.